Well, I welcome everyone, council, public. I'd like to call the Tuesday, March 28th, 2023 regular meeting of council to order. And before we get to the adoption of the agenda, I do want to have a quick shout out to Mr. Peters, celebrating 10 years with the Valemount Entertainment Society and bringing entertainment live and otherwise from throughout the village and particularly inside these chambers. So thank you, Mr. Peters. On to adoption of the agenda 2.1 that we adopt this evening's agenda. Councillor Mulyk, Councillor Pearson, any additions or deletions? None, all in favor. 3.1, adoption of the minutes of the March 14th, 2023 regular meeting of council, please. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor MacLean, any errors or omissions arising? All in favor? It's carried. A couple of delegations tonight under section 4. First up, under 4.1, we do have a delegation from Tourism Valemount. Presentation by Marcy Down, Tourism Valemount Executive Director. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and it was nice to be here tonight. I just wanted to give a short presentation of what Tourism Valemount has been up to in the last year and what we're doing this year. And I hope everybody can see this because I'm finding it a little fuzzy from here. So this is just the table of contents of the presentation. So vision and mission statement, Tourism Valemount Board of Directors, marketing cooperatives that we're working with, our accomplishments for 2022 and our accomplishments for 2023, and some highlights, a few visitor stats, our website analytics, and some social media marketing statistics that we have. So this is our vision statement, and I won't read it out to you. The objective right now really is to be sustainable and to really promote tourism in a way that we are working with the environment, with structures that we have in place, and bringing people here safely as well. This is our current board of directors. So currently our chair is Tony Mulyk. Our vice chair is Elliot Ingalls. Secretary treasurer is Patricia Thoney. Hugo Mulyk, as you may recognize him from council, he's on our board of directors as well. Also John Osborne from the district cycle shop. Curtis Pawlik, general manager of Varda. Terry Power from Summit Lodge. And I have John in there twice. Sorry about that. He's that, yeah. And then Tammy from Royal LePage. And staff currently, yours truly, Executive Director Marcy Down. Our marketing cooperatives that we are working with currently are the following: the Mountain Biking BC Ride North. We also work with North Thompson Valley. You may be familiar with the visitor guide, and the new version is just out in the visitor centers currently. And also Let's Ride BC, and we're also on the BC Ale Trail. So we work collaboratively with all of these co-ops to help promote and market Valemount. With this, it gives us extra funding in order to promote, and we utilize all their social media aspects as well. I also have a series of links. If you're so interested, I can forward this on. This highlights some of the videos and things that were done in productions with these companies and cooperatives. And the BC Ale Trail, if you've never seen the video, it's quite spectacular. 2022 accomplishments. So this was really our first year as a registered nonprofit. I was hired in August 15th of 2022. There's the announcement if you would so like to see it. It was quite incredible, the welcome that I got here, and I'd like to thank Mayor and Council for that as well. My first week here was quite impactful. I actually got to attend a couple of events, one of them being the Terry Fox Trek. I got to meet Fred Fox, and then I also got to take part in a golf tournament. We won't discuss how I did in the golf game, but I did win $50 for being the worst shot. It was great, and the welcome that I received and my daughter as well was quite incredible. Valemount is a very beautiful community, as we all know, and the amount of people that are here that are just so warm and welcoming, it's just quite impeccable. So to carry on, these are a few of the highlights from last year as well. We had reprinted the trail maps and tearaway pad maps, and there's actually not a whole lot of them left. We'll be doing another print and restructuring the trail map for this coming year as well. We also purchased ads in Sledder magazine and the Kootenay Mountain Culture magazine as well. And we also ran ads on the following radio stations, and those are just currently wrapping up now. So those were broadcast throughout Edmonton, Alberta. More 22 accomplishments. We attended the BC Bike Show in March of last year in Vancouver. We also attended the Alberta Snow Show and the Saskatoon Snow Show this year. That was my first introduction into the sledding community, and it was quite spectacular. I definitely learned a lot on the way, and the welcome that we got at both of those places was quite lovely. Which is funny to mention sledders in such a term, but they're just such a vibrant group of people. They're quite incredible. The Saskatoon Snow Show, we ended up having quite the snowstorm at that event. So our participation of visitors was down a little bit, but we still had quite a few come through. List of accomplishments that we've already started off with for 2023. We have purchased the back cover of the back road map books for the Thompson Okanagan Valley. I'm quite happy about that. It's quite a production. Those books go all over BC and are quite utilized by a lot of people. We're also in Go Camping BC Guide. And with that, I have a copy of the ad on the next slide here. We're the only ad in there that's featuring a winter activity in that book. That book is out year-round, and as we know, Valemount is a year-round destination, so we really want to promote that with all the different things there are to see and do in the area. For one of the first times ever, we're going to be in the Jasper map as well, which is 150,000 copies that are out for distribution. Jasper, as we know, is quite a busy community with visitation, so it's really important to be on the map there, literally. Kootenay Mountain Culture Guide will be in that again for the winter and summer edition. We're also in the Summer Camping Thompson Okanagan Guide and the Snow Riders Guide. That is the back cover of the back road map book. So it is showing all our seasons. And that's what I'm saying, or we are saying, come explore our seasons. As we know, we have a variety of seasons here besides spring, summer, winter. We also have sprinter and second winter, and I'm hoping we have spring now. We'll see how it goes.
It's not even making an effort right now.
Yeah, I know. It's trying. So this is a list of the digital media advertising that we are involved in as well. So it's so important not only to be in print, but to be in digital. As we know, a lot of the younger generations, the first thing they do is they grab their phone and they're Googling. When I told my daughter that we were moving to Valemount, that was the first thing that she did, was look it up and was telling me all the highlights of it. So it's really important to be on the map in paper and online as well. So some more highlights coming up here. I just attended the first Northern BC RV and Outdoor Expo in Prince George. First time they ever had it, there was hundreds of people from all over Northern BC. Many of them did not know where Valemount was, which to me was quite surprising. So we had a big map there and we were able to show, handed out a lot of prizes, handed out a lot of whistles, much to the chagrin of a lot of parents. But it was quite interesting because I could hear them all over. But anything that's fun that has our logo on it and has our website as well. And of course, pens and highlighters were really popular at those events as well. I also, the following week, attended the BC Tourism and Hospitality Conference in Prince George. Incredible connections were made and reestablished with a lot of people. There was a lot of folks there from Destination BC, which does provide funding and grant opportunities as well. And it had some great conversations with the CEO of Tourism BC, Walter. We ended up on a bus ride together up to the cross-country skiing. So that was quite a nice opportunity. Really got to promote Valemount one-on-one. Prince George Cougars game, I attended 2 actually. One with the conference, and then we were given a free opportunity to set up as a vendor at the Cougars game. And it was actually an awesome venue to be at. A lot of people there that are really into outdoor activities and that sort of thing. So we had a lot of visitors to the booth. So in the future, I'm definitely looking for more opportunities like that. We're doing something totally different where we can meet new people as well. So the Calgary Outdoor Show and Bike Show was on in March, and we have had two members attend that as well. And the reports back that it was a fabulous event. A lot of people attended. There were booths there from all over Canada and all over the world as well. And we'll definitely be going back to that one as well. I personally did not attend as I kind of had a baby. Well, I didn't, but I have a grandchild that arrived at that time. That's the great thing about having such a great team, is that there's still people able to go. Coming up next will be the Alberta Snow Show again, and then the Saskatoon Snow Show. And again, those are so important to attend. We do get a lot of sledders that come, and there's definitely a lot of new people. And the nice thing about promoting all the tourism and activities that there are to see and do in our area, there are people that are coming with the sledders to those shows that may not be into sledding, but they're into cross-country skiing. They're into coming and seeing, our art walk and other things that we have here to offer too. So some things that are coming up, one of them is the Chinook salmon release in May. There'll be more information coming out about that. It's a collaboration that we're working on with a few others. It'll be quite a community event, so there'll be more details coming up. Canada Day is coming up, and there will definitely be a celebration. And then we're working on a golf tournament and familiarization tour. What a familiarization tour is we bring people here that have never been here before, that are in the tourism industry, and show them the highlights of the community. That way, when they go back, they can tell people where to go and how to get there in good ways. We also have a media tour coming up this fall as well, which will be about 6 writers coming up from the United States and working in collaboration with Destination BC and Thompson Okanagan on that one. So here's some stats. I always find it interesting. What are people coming to the visitor center to learn about? What are the top 10 things? The top of the list for 2022 was the hiking and walking trails. So that just shows the real importance of maintaining our trails and having access to those trails. We are doing updates to our website, and one of the things that is being updated is the hiking trail portion of our website as well. Interpretation and the salmon, it speaks volumes about that as well. As we know, the Chinook salmon are endangered, and people are very interested in learning more about them. So able to have this release of the salmon is going to be a really important community event, and also really working towards the sustainability of those fish as well. People asking about Jasper, and then Mount Robson, going down to fishing, mountain biking, ATVing, and snowmobiling. And those ones are on the low side for the visitor center. People go directly to Varda for that information. Their stats are quite high. And then these are different requests that people come to the visitor center to ask about. So you can see what some of the top ones are. Washrooms, very important to have. And then a list of other things, maps and directions. So it's always important that we're not only just reprinting our maps, but revising our maps as well. And then they're looking for accommodations, events, and other things as well. Length of stay. So this shows the number of days that people are staying, and it's going to be neat to be tracking this. We have years going back that I'll be compiling as well, just to see the increase of that. That's the goal, is to really have people stay more than a day. And these are the total of visitors for the year, and you can see the total on the bottom. I'm finding it quite blurry at this point. All right, so this is some of our web stats. So this is from our website. I'm going to be doing this on a monthly basis. So this is starting with December. So as we go along, we're just going to start seeing more of an increase as we're driving more people to our website, looking at what what are they landing on? What are they wanting to see? What do we need to improve on with our website? And this was for the following month, which was, I believe, January. It is increasing. I did a bit more advertising. We were also running a campaign with Let's Ride BC as well. So the numbers are slowly going up. So we definitely want to see them increasing more. And these are the pages and activities that people are looking at when it comes to the website. So you can see what our top 10 is there. All right, social media. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, and we track the likes and follows, audience, and impressions as well. So how many people are landing, how many people are seeing what we're posting. So this was going back into November 2022. So it's neat because this gives you a broad spectrum of where people are falling into Facebook from, what communities, where can we target, and what do we need to target more. So of course BC and Canada is quite high. So I'm working on going more into Austria, and Germany. Those are people that really like to come to this area as well. So I've done some ad placements in that regard. We recently had a writer from Austria in Germany that came down for a few days in the area, and he'll be featuring Valemount. Once that gets released, we'll be promoting that too. So this is as of March, our numbers are going up. I'm hoping to hit 10,000 likes this year, so please tell all your friends to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Social media stats again, you can see the numbers. So things spike at different times of the month when we're running different campaigns. So it's always kind of cool to see, okay, what was it? What did people really like at that point? What do we need to be working on going further? Doing more advertising campaigns, and you'll see them pop up. You'll see those sponsored ads going around. Right now featuring it right across Canada and into the US as well. And this shows that our numbers are steadily going on the increase. And here too as well.
Just take a quick pause. It's down.
Yep.
Just at 15 minutes, I'll ask council for extension. Moved by Councillor Pearson, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. No
Thank
rush.
you. No rush.
We're just at that one little.
Okay. I'm almost done. All right. And I'm actually on the second to last slide. So Tourism Week is coming up April 24th to the 28th. We will be hosting another meet and greet, and we will have details coming out about that. And also another event for those of you that know about geocaching or maybe want to learn what geocaching is. On Earth Day, April 22nd, we'll be hosting a cash in, trash out event at the Cranberry Marsh. There are some geocaches that are currently there already. There's also some things that may need to be picked up around the community as well. So if you're interested in that, I will be there on April 22nd at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much for all your support and for helping us promote tourism in Valemount.
And thank you. Motion to receive. Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Questions, comments for the delegation? Councillor Pearson.
Quick comment. Well, first of all, congratulations on the work you're doing. And I will comment on your attendance to the Cougars game. Great opportunity, and it was duly noted by our MLA, Shirley Bond, who had the chance to visit you there, so nice work.
Thank you.
Anything else, Council? Councillor Blanchette?
Very impressive, very good numbers, very nice to see you're out and about and going to all these places and having all these things happen, so thank you very much.
Councillor Mulyk?
I just want to say that it's really interesting to see how far-reaching everything is now. How media is so important, and there's so many different venues that you have to participate in, and constantly. You can see the effort that's being made.
Thank you. it's something I'm very passionate about and I really enjoy, and Valemount is so beautiful. It's so easy to market and promote. But when you get an opportunity to go to Prince George like I did, that was a free event. The first time they were ever having it, it's like, let's try this. And then the opportunities that opened up there. We even had 5 radio ads free while we were there. It was just incredible, the reception. So it's just doing that in other communities as well and really spreading, who we are and what we do.
Even with glasses on, some of those stats were small. Are you able to share
Yes.
the electronic version with administration? And they can
Yes,
forward it?
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, because then you can click through the links and see the videos as well.
Pretty soon, we'll be asking Chat AGT what they think about tourism in Valemount versus Google. And then we'll go from there. Great marketing campaigns through the Jasper Map, BC Backcountry, TOTA. TOTA is just an awesome regional partner to have, so congratulations for maintaining that relationship.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. If there's nothing further, thanks again.
Great, thank you very much.
All in favor of receipt? It's carried. Next up, 4.2, we have another delegation, this time from our partners at Trans Mountain Expansion Project. Here with us this evening is Kent Taylor, Community Liaison.
See that? Okay, I'm gonna try without it. So thank you, Mayor and Council, for giving me the opportunity to present a project update this evening. So our agenda as follows. We're gonna focus on a full project update and then dive into spread 3 and 4, and then even further into the village of Valemount, and then what to expect with upcoming construction, community support, and issue and inquiries. So where we're at with the overall expansion, the expansion project is nearly 80% complete. 809 kilometers of pipe is now in the ground. We're nearly 95% complete with our facilities, which includes all BC pump stations. So construction in spread 3 4A, which is basically from Valemount right down to Clearwater, or to Avola rather. We're now 80% complete. 80% of the pipe is installed. 75% is backfilled. 20% of the areas, the topsoil is replaced, and 76% of the water course crossings are complete. So what that means, well, the 80% is pretty self-explanatory. The 80% of the pipe is installed. So what backfill means, just for those who, if I can go into a little bit of detail, just from an education perspective. So basically you're backfilling, covering up with subsoil to cover up the pipe. And then we're at 20% for topsoil replacement. So that would be your topsoil, and then we still have to complete some water course crossings. But construction within the region, we're 90% complete mainline construction through the area. Crews are now starting to focus south of Valemount, but our resources still remain in the region at the camp, as everyone knows. So hydro testing is underway. So what that means is, so they add water to the pipe that's been installed. It's pressurized, and then it's basically being test ready for in service. So a portion of that, some segments are now being tested and just ready for in service. So as far as workforce and local impacts, so approximately 2,000 workers between here and Clearwater. 24% of them, of the folks are local, 8% are Indigenous, and we are now starting to anticipate a month-by-month worker reduction as we get closer to mainline construction completion. So the big thing is seeing, that last 20% of pipeline installation. Once we get there, you'll start to see dramatic workforce reduction. Well, welders and the coating folks won't be needed once it's installed. So local contracting, over 12.5 million in local contract awards. Accommodation, Valemount Blue River Camps, there's 1,150 beds, over 22 million in live-out allowance in spread 3-4A. Other workers are staying in local rentals, commercial properties, and RV parks. Some workers are staying in Clearwater now, so a lot of the work is south, so some folks are migrating down that direction. As far as community support, we have a community benefit agreement in Valemount, $135,000 to support the eventual development of community housing and outdoor picnic area, and then there's $50,000 for education funding, so that's a total of $185,000. Trans Mountain and LSLP community sponsorship is over $585,000 in local sponsorship for community projects and associations. As far as infrastructure upgrades and community support, $2.3 million has been invested in upgrades to the Valemount current municipal water, sanitary sewer services, and road upgrades. More than $1 million in funding to support the hiring of RNs for the health center. We still have people emailing, calling into for issues and inquiries. So the primary focus has been around local accommodation, current concerns around vehicle idling, and then we have our direct landowners that are impacted by the pipeline that will deal with our area land agent, and they deal with those folks directly. I'll go into a little bit of detail. Maybe some of you know how this works already, but we have an email address. It's info@. So we do basically, the information comes in. If it's a concern, question, comment, it goes to those folks, and then it's all across the project, and then they cascade it out or direct it out to the region, and then it typically ends up on either the land agent's desk or my desk, and then we work with the construction folks to respond or mitigate any concerns. So that's basically kind of a high level of how we handle the inquiries. So what's next? So we continue to move our work towards Blue River, gradual decrease of workers in the area, and just to be frank, that's just, it's kind of starting now. It's not, it hasn't, it's been maybe minor, but as we kind of progress, you'll notice a difference. But to date, I don't think you could really notice it. But so what to expect: decreased use of local accommodations, goods and services. So our planned closure of the Valemount camp is scheduled for Q2. It is subject to change, and the reason why that's highlighted is just, we still have that 20% of infrastructure that needs to be installed, and so this is a fairly challenging area with being mountainous range. So that's, once we kind of get to that point, then of course we're going to communicate more of a concrete date. So, but we are working towards that. That is the target, and and then first the camp will be decommissioned. So, and then the asset will be removed when favorable weather returns. Temporary sites will be decommissioned, reclamation plan, and early implementation. So mechanically completion is scheduled, so that's for the pipeline, is scheduled for late 2023. I think that's been across the project, that's been well advertised of late. That's the target for everyone, basically from Edmonton to Burnaby, their goal is to get it in service early in 2024. And so again, for any inquiries or questions from stakeholders, the info@transmountain.com is there. Our phone number is there. And then just even if you want to monitor progress of the project, transmountain.com, and then you can follow us on Facebook and YouTube. I went one slide too many.
Well, thank you very much, Kent. Really appreciate you coming, making the time to come and present to us tonight. Motion to receive, moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Questions for the delegations, comments? Councillor Pearson.
I'll break the ice on this one. Thank you for the delegation. It's been a long time since we've had representation, so it's nice to have you here. So questions, basically on manpower. So I'm curious, it shows the Clearwater camp's closed. How many workers does that leave in the community, and what's been the feedback in Clearwater with that?
Well, that's been well received, that part. Someone else is looking after that spread. So they did do a presentation to Mayor and Council, and from all accounts it went extremely well. I know that we're working, because some of the folks that are working in spread 4A further south are staying in Clearwater. So at this point it's been well received, and now with people with now leaning on local accommodations there, it seems to be going well. But we've only been out of there for what, a month. A month. So that's the important piece of the info ad and the feedback from the community and stakeholders is we can't fix what we don't know, right? So I guess if I was giving that speech to the folks down there, I'd say let us know, so it is to be monitored. So well, so far so good, I guess.
My concern is in our community, the fact that the camp is closing, leaving the workers in the community. I would love to see the camp stay and start moving workers out of local accommodation, free up some housing so that we can actually attract employees to our community. Right now we can't hire anybody because they'd be sleeping in their car. I really feel that wasn't the intention for the camp, is for it to be the first to go out of the community. I would love to see it start to migrate some of those workers into the camp as the progress changes, to free up housing in our community.
Message received. I think, to my bullet, where it's that subject to change, I think that's part of that equation, is that, once we get through that critical path, then the numbers reduce, and then that decision can be, put forward internally, right? And then, so I'm hoping that people are going to have that discussion once we know that the critical path is done, the workforce is going to be reduced. So then
we can be part of that discussion.
Yeah, well, me too. So I think that's kind of remains to be seen as far as okay, let's get the pipe in the ground and know that we have a clear path, and then the discussion around the camp.
Okay, thanks. Follow up? No, that's good for me.
Councillor Blanchette?
So maybe you could just keep that, what Councillor Pearson mentioned, keep that in the forefront and just maybe push it through for us. Because if we can't hire nurses and teachers and doctors, that doesn't work well for the community. So yeah, I would back up what Councillor Pearson said, to really push that through if you can.
Of course I'll take it back for sure, as a key message.
I have a couple comments. Pleased to see local hires are at the 24% mark. Our last delegation, it was sitting around the 4% mark, so either our labor market has improved here, or folks are really biting down and getting their names out there to get onto the project. So Q2 is very long. It's 90 days long. So when you're saying could happen mid Q2, late Q2, keep us in the loop, man.
That's the goal. Eric and I have had some discussions. It's as soon as we have a firm date, I want to get that over to you as fast as I can. That's the goal. And so for me, it's constant check-ins with progress, pipeline progress, and, are we getting through the critical piece, and then we can communicate effectively, right? And, your point's valid, like, have the roundtable discussion, right?
And you did hear from our partners at Tourism Valemount through the previous delegation. The travel delays between Kamloops and Valemount have been a little longer than folks might have needed. Of course, safety is paramount. But what can we expect for a summer tourism traffic feedback if I'm a visitor looking to come in August to watch the salmon spawn and I'm not having a great time on Highway 5 because of this, that, and the other? What's the response that we can give, or Marcy can give back to our visitors saying, it'll be better next year, or it'll be not better next year, or?
Well, next season should be fine, but later in the summer, I'd have to take that back and ask what is our, some of our strategy, because, as far as workforce reduction, by that point, then traffic will reduce. But as you know, we still need access to the right of way, so then the signage may not change. But I can look into that for sure. Most
of our clientele in the winter are coming from the eastern direction, but a lot of our summer traffic is coming up from Vancouver International Airport.
Right.
And so, just wanting to get your crystal ball outlook.
Yeah, what I can ask the team is basically, when are we starting to pull our accesses out? Because that's what's going to matter. Like they can, like, even once the pipeline is installed and the topsoil is replaced, they still need access, but they might find alternatives, and it might not be so impactful to the for traffic, because they're not bringing in such large equipment. So basically what I'll do is I'll ask, what's the ETA of starting to pull accesses out of some of these locations, and then I can report back. That I don't know.
Okay.
But I think it's fair.
Councillor Blanchette.
On that point, maybe you could just mention to remind everybody to pull their signs, because I know a lot of times people are driving up and down and there's nobody there, there's nothing, and the sign is still there saying 70 and nobody's there.
Sounds like a good tailgate talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I'll bring that forward.
And to her point, the third time, folks aren't slowing down anymore.
Well,
and then it puts your workforce at risk.
Yeah, I actually experienced it. When I first came out here, I toured south, and if I actually wasn't doing 70, we wouldn't be talking today. Actually, I was fine, but I know that if I was doing if I wouldn't have reduced to the speed limit, someone was turning off, and that's So like you said, safety's paramount, but I can do some reminders in the construction meetings, and we've done that, as I think everyone's aware. We've had a few of those discussions in the mornings for like idling, for example. We've brought that up a few times now, even in my short time on the segment of the project. So I'll bring that forward.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. Again, outstanding that you're able to take some time to come and present to us this evening, and wish you all the best, and please keep us in mind for some communication.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions on the comments on the delegation itself? Hearing none, all in favor of receipt? It's carried. Thanks again, Kent.
Thank you, Chief.
And you're more than welcome to stay for the 5-year financial bylaw. Okay.
It's quite gripping. I'll be honest, I'm going to go watch the Boiler game now.
You're down to reading files. Anything council wants to bring to surface? Councillor Blanchette?
The first item, the BC Associations for Farmers Markets. I would like to ask that we do send a thank you letter to Minister Dix for the coupon program. I think that is excellent. And to know that it was so widely used and accessed, I think we have to keep something like that going. So anything we can do to help, we should.
It's a longer motion, but I'll take a second on that one. Councillor Mulyk, thank you. That a thank you letter be sent to the good minister. Discussion on the motion? All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Excellent. Anything else? Okay. Administrative reports, 8.1, Valemount Council Strategic Priorities 23 to 27. Looking to approve the overall document. Councillor Mulyk, Councillor Pearson, discussion. You all had a good look, ready to sign, ready to achieve, believe, and all the other great things.
And a thank you to staff. A lot of work went into this. We sat with staff and went over things, but they did a really good job. It's an excellent document, so thank you to everybody that was involved in creating it.
Awesome, thank you. All in favor? It's carried. 8.2, Valemount Museum Operations, with a recommendation that Village of Valemount staff be approved by council to oversee the future operations of the Valemount Museum, subject to confirmation that current funding streams can be transferred from the Valemount Historic Society to the Village of Valemount. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor?
I'll throw in a last minute. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for both sides for us to take over operation over there and do a combined effort. I think it's going to be hugely successful, and especially with the current staffing and their enthusiasm for the project. So,
Yeah, absolutely. All in favor? It's carried. Do have... Oh, thank you. 8.3, Columbia Basin Trust Ready Grants funding. A few to consider this evening. Before we start off, I'd like to thank all of the applicants, and particularly around their presentations during the public input session. And I also want to thank the adjudication committee. Councillor Mulyk, you and your committee members done a great job this year, so thank you very much. It couldn't have been easy. With that, number one, that the Robson Valley Spay and Neuter Society received $4,000 for their project Community Spay and Neuter Support Project. Moved by Councillor MacLean, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Number two, that the Valemount Learning Society received $40,000 for their pardon me, I'll just read it and then I'll recuse myself. That the Valemount Learning Society received $40,000 for their project Green Energy for Village Greens, local leafy greens year-round, declaring a conflict of interest as my wife is the applicant. Councillor MacLean, can you take over? Please.
And, do we have a motion to?
Just wait till he's...
Oh, sorry, hustle.
Motion language is here if you like.
Okay, we would like a motion that the Valemount Learning Society receive $40,000 for their project Green Energy for Village Greens, local leafy greens year-round. Councillor Mulyk, Councillor Blanchette. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried.
Thanks, Larry.
It's carried.
Thank you. Number three, that the Valemount JCR Adult Committee Society receive $4,945 for their project backcountry equipment. Moved by Councillor MacLean, second by Councillor Blanchette. Discussion. All in favor? It's carried. Number four, the Valemount Entertainment Society received $40,354 for their project conversion of VCTV channel 32 to digital and the purchase of an emergency alert messaging system for VCTV. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Number 5, that the Valemount Curling Club receive $30,733 for their project, Valemount Curling Club building upgrades. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, seconded by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Number 6, that the Valemount Secondary School Parent Advisory Council Society receive $42,641.80 for their project, Valemount Youth Mountain Bike Club. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor MacLean. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. And 7, that the Valemount Community Sports Day Association receive $10,702.80 for their project, Valemount Days 2023. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. 8.4. 8.4. If I can get my mouse to not cooperate. 8.4, temporary use permit 2303 at 1170 Canoe View Place. Recommendation that TUP 2303 for 1170 Canoe View Place, legally described as Lot 10, District Lot 7355, Caribou District Plan BCP 20630, proposing a temporary use permit for a 2-year period, be given initial approval. Moved by Councillor Pearson, second by Councillor Blanchette. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. 8.5, temporary use permit 2304. It's a renewal of TUP 2104 at 1133 14th Avenue. Recommendation that TUP 2304, a renewal of TUP 2104 for 1133 14th Avenue, legally described as Lot 38, Plan PGP 26762, District Lot 7355, Land District 05, proposing the renewal of a TUP for a period of 3 years, be given initial approval. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Under bylaws and policies, 9.1, Village of Valemount bylaw number 871, 5-year financial plan 2023 to 2027. Recommendation here that the 5-year financial plan bylaw number 871, 2023 be given first and second reading. Moved by Councillor Blanchette, second by Councillor Mulyk. Discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Under new business, 10.1, hand it over to you, Councillor Pearson.
Thank you. Yeah, as mentioned last meeting, I was going to bring this motion forward. I think we all recognize the issues along the highway corridor. So I will read all the verbiage that was added to this. Whereas there are ongoing issues revolving around traffic patterns and parking difficulties along Caris Drive and the entire Highway 5 Caris Drive 5th Avenue intersection, as well as growing frustration with members of the community. And whereas the village is seeking ways to make access to the downtown safer for pedestrians and traffic and to enhance active transportation. And therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Valemount create a select committee of council to explore possible solutions to the traffic and parking issues along the highway corridor. This group would include, but may not be limited to, such stakeholders as village staff, Ministry of Transportation Infrastructure, local residents, retailers, and industry partners.
Moved by Councillor Pearson, seconded by Councillor Blanchette. Discussion? I have a question for admin. What sort of next steps?
Your worship, the next steps are on the standing committee. Staff will put a draft together what the terms of reference and composition, meeting timeframes, and supports would look like, and we can present that back to council alongside what the products that you might expect to see from this body would be. If that's agreed upon, then I think we would go out and solicit the different agencies and groups that Councillor Pearson had mentioned, and then we could begin work in earnest. I just think that those initial steps to really define the terms of reference, what council hopes to achieve and how they hope to achieve it, would set yourselves and those volunteers up for success.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? All in favor? It's carried. We've got time for council, oh, sorry, does anybody have another notice of motion to bring forward? Hearing none, on to council reports. 12.1. Councillor Blanchette.
On March 20th, we had another wayfinding sign, so we're zeroing in on that. We're going to do a drive around next. And on the 27th, we had an elder care meeting. We're trying to figure out how we can reach the senior citizens in our community and make sure that they're okay, because some of them are not getting reached and some of them aren't okay. So if anybody knows of anyone that needs to be looked out, or have a friend call or visit or anything, or you want to volunteer, or if you would want to be hired to do something. I mean, I don't even know the possibilities we're working on it as a group. We're just trying to figure out how it's best going to work. But the bottom line is we have seniors that aren't getting looked after all the time mentally, you know, like having visits and having a trip to the store and getting their prescriptions on time and those kinds of things. So we need that to stop. So that's that. And that's it. Thank you. And anybody can reach out to me on my email anytime, and I'll forward it to the Elder Care Committee, and we'll discuss it from there. Okay.
Thank you. Go across the room. Councillor Pearson.
All right. Well, it's always a fun council report after going to the LGLA elected official session in Prince George from March 15th to 17th, along with Councillors Mulyk, MacLean, Mayor Torgerson, and CAO Depenau. Councillor Blanchette, you were missed. Yeah, I mean, it was a great 3 days. They pack a lot in there. So on the 15th, it was a late start, luckily, because we drove that morning. The keynote was a presentation by author Ian McCormack on who's driving the tractor, which was a great presentation on kind of roles and responsibilities and who is responsible for what. It was followed by a code of conduct panel. Another presentation on roles and responsibilities with Frank Leonard, who was a great speaker. It's always fun when they can put some humor into these things. So that was followed that evening with a Team Valemount dinner with MLA Bond and Dorothy Titchener. Basically a State of the Valley update with our provincial representative. The 16th, a series of quick presentations, BC Assessment, Municipal Finance Authority, and Local Government Financial Management. I then slipped into a concurrent session for Asset Management Vision with Christina Bentney. Again, great humor to it. I mean, it was a very engaging presentation. She's a pretty entertaining speaker. Followed by local government law dynamics and decision making with Tracy Lawrence. And again, I mean, that lady should be a stand-up comedian. It was a great presentation. So,
With a law degree.
And considering the rooms were, even Councillor MacLean found the room a little warm. So it was good to have an exciting presentation. That was followed with a local government mentoring panel with our own Mayor Torgerson and 3 others. There was a more than half the time Indigenous relations presentation, and I felt bad for the presentation on local government and climate action at the end of the day on that day. The 17th was tourism with Destination BC, Transit BC, North Central Local Government Association, Presentation on civic info election results with Todd Pugh. Again, taking a really somewhat less than exciting topic and making it entertaining. He was good as well. Then MIABC, risk management, and then a communications presentation by Jan Enns on how to master your media. Lots of do's and don'ts, how to stay out of trouble, how to deal with press, and think before you speak. March 20th, also the wayfinding group with CAO Depenau, EDO Gisomberti, and Councillor Blanchette. Looking at what we're putting together for wayfinding signs in the community and starting to source out materials to carry on with that project. And March 22nd, Historic Society AGM. And that was my week. That was my week.
Back across the room.
Okay. On March 15th, 16th, 17th, I was also, as Councillor Pearson mentioned, at the LGLA. For me, it was just an excellent learning opportunity. You covered so many of the things, Pete, Councillor Pearson, the roles and responsibilities, code of conduct. I think, I guess I can sum it up. The quality of the presentations was outstanding. It all made sense to me, and my head was pretty full at the end of those 3 days, I must admit. So very, very happy to be able to participate in that. On March 18th, I was with the CBT Ready Grant Adjudication Committee, and we made our determinations of the proposals to present to council. On March 20th, NDIT meeting in Prince George, where I got to revisit several of the people that I met at the LGLA a few days earlier, so that was excellent. I really enjoyed that. On the 21st, we had the Valemount Entertainment Society committee meeting, and that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Councillor MacLean.
Well, the LGLA, those 3 days, my thunder has been stolen by the previous two, but I agreed it was an excellent. They were excellent training sessions, learning sessions, refreshers. It was a good refresher on what council is all about, and a chance to listen to panels and discussions from experts. It really was, and they were long days, so they had to be very interesting, because by the time we went to breakfast together and finished at the end of 7 o'clock, it was 12 hours that we had spent together in those rooms listening. And they, to the credit of the organizers and the speakers, they went pretty fast. The other things that I have been busy with, the 16th round of negotiations to modernize the Columbia River Treaty was held March 22nd to March 23rd in Washington, D.C., where Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and U.S. President Biden affirmed on March 24th that, among other things, the Columbia River is a vital shared resource that underpins many lives and industries on both sides of the border, and the watershed requires our attention and prompt coordination. The Columbia River Treaty Local Government Committee is meeting on this Thursday to receive an update on this most recent round of negotiations. This committee would like to meet in person in Creston on May 1st and 2nd to check in with the negotiating team and Indigenous Nations representatives. It will be the first time we have met in person since COVID interrupted things, and I will be requesting permission to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I got questions when we receive. March 15th, 17th, LGLA elected official seminar with the majority of you, while some of you were singing along about pipes in the ground. Councillor Mulyk and I were indulged with local government law 101. Again, all the presentations were outstanding, including something that can be as clear and concise as gray matter in local government law. So, good presentation there. Again, the briefing and dinner with MLA Bond is never wasted. She is a awesome resource for this valley and a tremendous asset in Victoria on all of our behalf. March 22nd, took part in a virtual emergency management director's orientation for the RDFFG, and then several meetings on the 23rd, virtually this time, with the RD Reconciliation Committee, which is new, the RD Environment and Parks, the Fraser Fort George Regional Hospital Board. We had a closed session this time around, as well as a regular open session. Because it was virtual, I attended virtually because on the 24th and 25th, I needed to be in Revelstoke for Columbia Basin Trust Executive and Columbia Basin Trust regular board. And being Revelstoke, it is the closest venue that you can possibly have a board meeting to Valemount, so I thought I better jump in the car and get there. Because the next one is the exact opposite, it's in Selmo. And there's no quick way to make it to Selmo. So that's mine. Motion to receive. Moved by Councillor Mulyk, second by Councillor MacLean. Questions, comments on the council reports before you? Councillor, were you twitching or were you?
Just twitching.
Okay. Round of negotiations. So round 16 was this?
16, yeah.
They're coming back this way for round 17?
Yeah, the next round will be in Canada, yeah.
Okay.
There'll be releases tomorrow. I was just checking before I left today, and the province will make a news release tomorrow morning, and I believe that they'll also be on Facebook, but it'll be on the province's site as well.
Yeah. Great.
Your worship, I think we're looking for a motion as well there, just for the travel to Creston, May 1st and 2nd to be supported there.
She is our delegation to the, and under those tours,
Perfect.
I think we foot the bill.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think, yes. Right.
Noted.
Would you like a resolution?
No, we can follow it out, not required, noted for my purpose in the future.
All right. Thank you. All in favor of receipt? It's carried. We have time now for public comment under 14.1 on items considered by council as part of the approved agenda. Does anybody have any public comments? Yes. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, I'm Rashmi Narayan and I live in Valemount, and I briefly want to talk about the Trans Mountain presentation, and I was really pleased, Councillor Pearson, that he brought up the request to keep the camp longer. I think it's very relevant for a bunch of reasons. One, when they first got a permit, they had said only 150 people would be in town, so maybe it will be more closer to that. And second, because they talked about, dismantling the camp, Q2, end of Q2, it starts, getting colder when people, less RVs and, people can camp less. And it makes more sense that the camp stay open then. And I believe it'll also open up, we've lost some sledders because of lack of accommodation, and I think in light of that as well. So I hope council and staff hold them to that, and are able to hold them to that. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments this evening? Hearing none, motion to receive. Moved by Councillor Mulyk, seconded by Councillor Pearson. Discussion, all in favor? It's carried. No need to go to in camera this evening, so I'll ask for adjournment. Councillor Pearson, thank you very much.